Good evening, everyone. I am Sean Madden, your lead commentator for this evening, and welcome to sunny España for Week 6, Season 10 of the FRL Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Mega Series here at Valencia. I'm delighted to have back alongside me my legendary co-commentator, Rob Barker. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Sean, and welcome into everybody.
So today, for the first time in this season's calendar, we've made a short plane trip from the UK over to Spain to the circuit Ricardo Tormo, as known to the Spanish locals here. We are featuring a mega grid once again on the PS5, putting both the pros and the AMS drivers through their paces on one grid. Rob, can you give us all the info and details on tonight's races, please?
Absolutely, Sean. So the drivers are currently in and coming towards the end of their 1 hour of practice. Qualifying will be a 20-minute qualifying session, 10 minutes for the pros, 10 minutes for the AMs. That will begin at 8 o'clock UK time. Race 1 will start at 20 past 8. That's a 20-minute sprint race, and then race 2 will start at 8:45 UK time, a 40-minute race. Mandatory pit stops are not required, however they can choose to do so if they do so wish. Points will be awarded for everybody down until P30.
Thank you, Rob. So let's have a look at the current driver standings for both the pros and the AMs after week 5. So, after a dominant display at Donington with back-to-back wins, Zdeněk Vortel now extends his lead at the top of the table by 12 points over Nikola Thank you, Rob. So, Rob, can you give us a few details and maybe some history facts about today's track, please?
Yeah, I certainly can, Sean. So the Circuit Ricardo Torma, also known as the Circuit de Valencia, is a well-known motorsport racing circuit located just near Valencia, Spain. The circuit is named actually after Ricardo Tormo, a Spanish motorcycle racer who won his 50cc class of the Motorcycle World Championship in 1978. The circuit, believe it or not, was designed primarily for motorcycle racing and has been a staple in the MotoGP calendar. The circuit itself still holds the last race of the season in the MotoGP calendar. The circuit offers several different configurations, but the main layout which we are on tonight is 4 kilometre long. It features 14 turns, 9 to the left and 5 to the right. The circuit features a variety of corners, including tight hairpins, fast sweepers, which is a combination of technical skill and speed from the drivers.
Right. So it looks like the drivers are just finishing up their practice session, performing their final tweaks to their car setups for qualifying. Rob, how's the weather looking out there on track?
It is absolutely baking out on the circuit. 39 degrees C ambient temperature, and the track temp is a whopping 51 degrees C.
Wow, that is very hot.
Very, very hot, and very, very little wind, next to no wind the entirety of the practice session. So yeah, very, very hot circuit. I think the 40-minute race, we may see a little bit of a high tyre deck on this one.
Yes, indeed. It's I don't think throughout the whole season, I don't think I've ever seen the track temperature that high before. Even at Kota, I believe it was in the 40s, but 51 degrees, absolute ridiculous. As said, Rob, hoping that the drivers do not melt their tyres. Of course, we have got a 20-minute sprint race, which you would think that it should be okay for the 20-minute, but the 40-minute, however, who knows? They're going to have to be very careful on them tyres. So let's just say it could kick up some drama in today's race, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. I said, as you said, rightly put, the 20-minute race shouldn't be a problem for the drivers, but if that circuit doesn't cool down in the next next hour or so, that 40-minute race is going to be very challenging. The drivers will be keeping a close eye on those tyre temps and making sure to keep them in the window, which I imagine with this circuit, these quite quick sweeping corners, they're going to be very difficult to manage that tyre temp. Hopefully these guys have got their cars set up perfectly for the weather and the circuit.
Yes, indeed. Well, just looking at the times at the moment, Vortel is currently leading in practice. It's a 1 minute 31.482 for him. Morveg, though, in the amateur class, half a second behind in P2. Big surprise there. Maybe a driver to look out for. Of course, free practice, this... It doesn't really matter. Obviously, it's practice for a reason. But if those times are anything to go by, maybe something similar in qualifying, who knows, but looking really, really good for Mornveg at the moment, Rob.
Yeah, Max currently sat P15 in the AMS. He did race the first one and the last one, but he has missed 4 consecutive races in the series. Sort of averaging around P6, P5 in his races, but looking very, very good out here as the practice session does come to an end. We are now just waiting for the cool down, and then the qualification will be underway.
Well, as a spectator, I would, I'm pretty sure they'll be trying to cool down in the stands. I can imagine, a cold beverage, maybe an ice cream, although they would have to eat the ice cream very, very quickly, of course. But yeah, it's definitely, scorching hot conditions out there on circuit. Let's pray for the drivers that their tyres do last the duration of their races and put on a good show for us all.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a couple of minutes now on the cool down timer as we see. As I'm currently riding on board with Max, making his way round the last corner. I'm not sure he'll complete that. No, he's going to complete the lap, so this will be the last one for him. And we see Pedro Silva still out on circuit, making his way to that last corner. While we've got this minute, let's just have a quick dip into the chat and see who we've got. Welcome in Hazard, and we've got Scruff King. Dazza also back in the chat as well, and KD the Kai. Dazza, don't expect much from me tonight. Very little practice this week. Just stay clean and hope for the best. It sounds like a good strat to me, Daz. Yeah, it's not a very well used circuit for car racing, so I imagine not many people are familiar with the circuit. I bet quite a few have had to spend some time learning.
Yes, indeed. I mean, I know for certain that Valencia is a new circuit for me, but it looks like a lot of fun out there. There's a lot of sort of hairpins and fast sweeping corners as well. And as you alluded to earlier, this is for the, it's kind of known that it's made for the motorbikes, isn't it? As a MotoGP circuit, an absolute classic one at that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers get on here, and maybe not so many gaps between the pros and the AM drivers out there.
Yeah, you could see a bit of a curveball from some of the AM drivers, setting some very, very fast times in practice. Max, as we did already speak about, was very quick in practice, but also Brendan Morley currently sat P10 in the amateur category. He was also going very, very quick in the practice session as well. So yeah, they're going to get in amongst it as they should be. And obviously, as I think we were talking about this last week, the pro and AMs are still racing one another. I don't think they don't have to yield for a pro driver. They are very much in the race as well.
Yes, no, they don't need to give way to the pro drivers at all. Of course, only if they're getting lapped. But yeah, no, it's a multi-grid, let's just call it, of the pros and the AMs, and we'll be fighting it out on track. We are on board with Naisbitt at the moment, car number 242. The Lamborghini, of course. He's at the front of the queue to on his flying lap at the moment, looking pretty tidy through the corners. We'll see what sort of lap time he does produce here, but yeah, looking good so far, and got high hopes for Naisbitt today.
Yeah, coming off the back of a good couple of performances for Dan. Just to reiterate, the qualifying has been extended by 5 minutes to the normal schedule. 10 minutes for the pros, 10 minutes for the AMs.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. So any of the amateurs that come out before their 10 minute allotted time do get penalised, I do believe, Rob. So and same for the pros, if they go over their 10 minute, or if they start their last lap before the 10 minute it is allowed, but afterwards they will get penalised. As Naisbitt comes across the line with a 1 minute 33.3, because Vortel goes on provisional pole with a 1 minute 32.172. We've also got Covey Alerts in P2, just over half a second behind, so that is a 32.6. And then Di Stefano coming across the line in P2 with a 1 minute 32.3.
Yeah, times are starting to fly in now. Vortal was very, very quick during the practice session. Almost a second in front at some of the other pro drivers. Believe it or not, one of the closest drivers to him was in fact Max in the AMP category, the 442 McLaren. Very close times between the two of those. I think it's just half a tenth in the practice session. So very, very close up the front, with the exception of Vortal, who seems to have found a lot of pace.
Yes, indeed, and to be fair to him, he's been on the pace the whole championship, to be honest. Currently leading the championship by 12 points. Got a clean sweep in the last round at Donington as well. So clearly a man on form. And it was alleged in chats last week that Vortel was Max Verstappen, as we just see Silva come across the line to claim a pole position at the moment. 1 minute 31.895. First man to get beneath the 1 minute 32s.
Yeah, fantastic time there from Pedro in the 55 McLaren. The McLaren seems to be going quite well, but there is a huge train of Ferraris as we see De Stefano pop himself up to P2. He improves his time by a couple of tenths as Sousa sticks himself into P4.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, very impressive lap times early on in this qualifying stint for the Pro category. They've got currently 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to qualify, so that will be roughly about 2 to 3 flying laps left for these drivers.
Yeah, just a little update from Formula Racing League themselves in chat. So indeed, if the drivers run over their allotted time or come out early, they will be disqualified from the qualifying session, which means they'll start at the back of the grid and they will also get 60 seconds off their race time. So very strict rules, which is what we like to see. All the drivers will be familiar with the rules, so I don't expect, well, I hope not to see that happen this qualifying session. Also welcome Philippe in the chat as well. Good to see you.
242. Yeah, thank you for the update there, Chris Gedman, and also good luck tonight in this race as well. His quali session, about to start in about 3.5 minutes for the amateurs.
Yeah, welcome Chris as well. Currently sat P9, FRL's own Chris Gedman in the 79 BMW. Good round out last week for Chris. It was P9 and P13. It's a good set of results there for him. I imagine he'll be hoping to do a little bit better this evening.
Yes, indeed. And we're just starting to see the times rack up. Silva extends his lead at the top at the moment. 1 minute 31.565. That is followed by Di Stefano, who is 2 tenths behind in P2. So that is a 31.7 for him. Melvin Crow's just over half a second down. So that is a 32.1. Very surprising to see Vortel in P4, which is almost a ridiculous statement to say, because that is still an excellent position, but so used to seeing him at the top of the grid with 2.5 minutes left of quali. If he's going to improve, it has to be now. But yeah, currently with a 32.1 for Vortel.
Yeah, you're just coming around the penultimate corner is Vortel to probably, if not improve this one, definitely going to get time for one, maybe 2 more laps if he doesn't stop fresh tyres. So he's either going to do it this time or he's going to try and do it next time.
He's up into P2.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic lap there, up into P2 with a 131.69 for him. He'll be very happy with that as Sousa pops himself into P5, overtakes Buzz off there in the 95 Porsche.
Yes, and interestingly doesn't improve either, Busov. So currently in P6, he is the guy sort of in the hunt for the championship at the moment in P2. Finds himself 12 points behind Vortel, of course. So he'll be looking for a good quali, because apart from that long the long back straight, not too many overtaking opportunities, I feel, on this circuit, Rob.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. You have to be very smart with your overtaking here at Valencia. You kind of set up the overtake a couple of corners before you actually get before you get it done. A good exit out the last corner might open an opportunity into turn 1. and a late dive into the last corner. If you set up well previously, obviously you've got the long downhill left-hander to deal with first. Maybe able to pop up the inside into the last corner and get a move done onto the home straight.
Yes, indeed. And with 30 seconds left of qualifying, Kobe Alerts, I think that he's just moved up into P7, so he's 8.5 tenths behind Silver in P1, so that will make it a 1 minute 32.4 for him.
Sousa is also, I think Sousa's just retired his car, so his quali is done, which means Bushoff, who does improves his lap time into P5. This will be the last lap for everybody on the grid. The 10 minutes has expired. As you can see, a big train of AM vehicles now leaving the pits.
Yes, indeed. I just need to have a look at Trotman. There is basically about 7 cars remaining out of the pros to come across the line. So we'll just quickly focus on Trotman, who is just coming around the final corner. Can he improve on his current fastest time? He is 3.9 seconds down on the pole position time. Yes, he does by 7 tenths, but remains in P17 for the pros. Then we've got car number 39. That is Fernker with Townsend just behind as well. So we'll have a look. Oh, no, he's going into the pits. So maybe Townsend on a flyer here. Currently P13. Moves up into the top 10, Rob.
Well done, good lap of that one there. Vortel is also going to try and pop himself onto P1, comes up to the line.
Oh, he does improve.
Misses out.
He improves, but he misses out on pole position by 1/10 of a second. So unlucky for Vortel. And that is it for the pro drivers. So we will get on board with some of the AM drivers. I think it's 79 is heading the queue at the moment. That's Gedman.
Chris Gedman.
Yeah.
Rounding up the final corner, getting ready to pop in the first flying lap for the amateur class as he crosses the line. Oh, must have been an outlap.
Yeah, I think these are all the outlaps here. Yeah, so we can kind of remain on car number 79, which is Chris Gedman, as we was talking to him in chat. And welcome, Nikki Showtime. Howdy to you. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. And for those that I didn't say hello to, welcome all. Hope you're all doing fantastically well, and welcome to round 6 here at Valencia for the Super Sprint Series, of course. Hopefully this is going to be a fantastic race. But yeah, we remain on board with Chris Gedman. He is about halfway through the lap at the moment, Rob.
Yeah, just coming up to the final. About halfway through the lap, into the left-hander, down the hill. He's not at the end at all, is he? I'm completely lost.
He's about 4 corners away from the end there. Also got to say good evening to Carmassa. I hope I said your name correct there. Welcome in, and glad to have your presence in chat. Also got to say a big thank you to Cloutor and all the way Dennis for the follows as well. FRL, really do appreciate your follows and support, of course. As Gedman comes around the final corner now. What sort of lap time can Chris produce? And he produces, he's P19 at the moment, 4.2 seconds down on the leader. That would be a 1 minute 35.7 for Chris Gedman as the times start rolling in with the amateur drivers. Chris Knight is currently P1 at the moment. No, he's not, because Coitus is P1 now for the amateurs, 1.6 seconds down on Silver. So that is a 1:33.1 for him. So it's a great time for Coitus in the amateur class, of course.
Yes, finding the number 12 Ferrari, a very good last sector from him, which gave him a 1:33.1 1. As we see some more movement as Knight puts in a 134.1, that's P17, P2 in category for him, as we also see Robinson with a 134.6 in the number 1 Ferrari, that's P3 for him, P18 overall.
Yes, indeed. We're just under 6 minutes of qualifying left. We're just on board with Rick Brave. What sort of lap time can he produce? He can't produce any time. that is the answer.
I think that was his outlap. He's only registering 1 lap, so I think that's his outlap for him. Also, Vlotten is also on his outlap as well. Hasn't completed a flying lap just yet.
No, but he's definitely one driver to look out for. Got 2 wins last round at Donington, so expecting big things from Vloten today.
Yeah, a very quick driver, currently sat P6 in the standings in the 160 Ferrari, and as you quite rightly put, 2 wins in round 5. He also picked up a win and a P2 podium spot in round 3, and round 4 was a P5 and a P6, so we'll be expecting to be towards the higher end, I'd imagine, by the end of this qualification, which is only 4.5 minutes away from completing.
Yes, indeed. So we're just awaiting a few of the other drivers to get their flying laps in. There's currently 4 drivers that haven't set a lap time. We're on board with Rick Brave, currently in P30, but he is just about coming across the final corner now to come across the start-finish line, and he produces a no time.
Yeah, not sure. I personally haven't driven Valencia on ACC. I'm guessing there will be a few corners that perhaps quite easy to pick up a track limit and lap invalidation in the qualifying as someone.
Well, Vloten has just come across the start-finish line with a fantastic time. Number 1 for the amateurs, 1.4 seconds down. That is a 32.9. Fantastic lap time from Vloten. I did say, Rob, he was a man to watch out for, of course.
Yeah, what a fantastic lap from him, a 1 minute 32.9, as you quite rightly said. But P12 overall, we still have Sven in P2 for the AMS in the number 12 Ferrari. Morley, that was the name I was after. So yeah. Morley has just put in a 133.6. That puts him into P3 for class 18th, P18th overall. Knight still in P4 for him. Ruse in P5. And we have Stuart Robinson in P6. Louis Descartes has just put in a 134.6. That puts him P22 overall. A new name that I hadn't seen before, Sean. Matthias De Burl, I believe is the way we say that one. Matthias De Burl, first time out for him. Currently sat P23.
Yes. It's a good debut for him. Doing excellent in, what is that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8th, isn't it, for the amateurs then. With 2 minutes left, there's still enough time to get in a couple more flying laps in. Mornveg is the only driver not to have set a lap time. Now, of course, Mornveg was second quickest in practice, Rob.
Not just second quickest in class as well. Max was second quickest overall in the practice session, so he was absolutely flying. He's done 3 laps, Sean, but hasn't set a time yet.
Yeah, perhaps pushing a little bit too hard. I just saw him cut a lot of that corner there. I'm not sure what turn that is, but the sort of kind of hairpin. And you got to be a little bit careful. Try and keep the car between the white lines and not go too far wide on the exit. It looked like he went a little bit wide out the final corner there. We'll see if that is a lap. Yes, it's an allowed lap, and he moves up into P8 overall, Rob, but P1 for the amateurs.
Yeah, new top three then. So Mornweg in the 442 with a very tidy lap there, 132, pops into P8 overall. P1 for the amateurs. We still have Sven Kutas in P2 and Lot in P3. So Sven has improved his lap time as well, because he's now P11 overall, P2 in class. A fantastic lap from him as well, as we are starting to round up those final seconds. Sean, I think everybody now will may get one more.
Yeah, I think for maybe 5-6 drivers may get one more lap in after their current one, but for the rest of the drivers it will be their final lap. So 51 is Knight, just about to come across the line. Doesn't improve. 90,
yeah.
No.
Don't think Bruce is going to make it round for another lap, nor is Stuart Robinson. They will take the checkered flag.
Does improve though. Does improve, I believe, to P4 for the amateurs. 1.7 seconds down. That is 33.2 for Robinson.
A good lap from him. P18 overall, but yeah, as you quite rightly said, P4 in the category. So Roos also takes the checkered flag. P22 for him. Just jumping on board myself with Richter Brave to see if he can improve his current position. Currently 3.5 seconds off the pole time, and P29 overall. He is going to want to make his way up the grid a little bit. Let's see what he can do.
No, slows down by the looks of it.
Yeah. P29.
Car number 160 is Vloten. Can he improve? Last gasp. Yes, he does improve up to P9 overall. 9 tenths down. Mornveg. Look at Mornveg though. Wow. P4 for him. 3.5 tenths down. That is a 1 minute 31.9. That is a stonking lap time for an amateur driver.
Absolutely phenomenal, and he's not done either. He's still on a lap, Sean. So can he improve even more? It's the 51. No, he can't.
No,
that is it.
That is the checkered flag. So let's have a look at the overall standings then for qualifying. So on pole position we have Silva in that McLaren 720S with a 1 minute 31.565. Then we had Zdeněk Vortel also in the McLaren, 1 minute 31.665. Di Stefano gets P3 in that Ferrari, 1 minute 31.765. Mornveg, incredible lap time from him, P4 overall, but P1 for the amateurs with that 1 minute 31.915. Then Crows just behind in P5, 1 minute 31.920. Then Busov, P6, that is very interesting. 1 minute 32.097 with Sousa in P7, 32.352. Kobe Alerts in P8 with a 32.422. Vloten second in the amateurs with a 1 minute 32.492. And Koitas rounds up the top 10, and P3 for the amateurs, 1 minute 32.760. And then just reading through the field, we've got Blims in P11, Grace in P12, Townsend in P13, Molnix in P14, Friedman in P15, Naisbitt in P16, Callaghan in P17 with Robinson in P18 and P4 for the amateurs, Morley in P19 and 5th for the amateurs. P20 is Fernka for the pros with Knight, Roos, Descartes, Daybell, Cablo, Townsend, Trotman, Gedman, Dumbrave, and Bezanayak. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Peter or Piotr in P30 there.
We'll get used to his name eventually, guys. But yeah, seeing him for the very first time, quite tricky for us English commentators. So we do apologise.
I would hazard a guess it's Spazniak.
Yeah, that does make sense actually. If Spazniak is in chat, probably not, but if he is there, or anyone, I believe, is that Polish, is it, Rob?
Yes, he's indeed a Polish driver in the number 6 Ferrari.
If there's anyone Polish in chat that can confirm the pronunciation, it'll be absolutely fantastic. Just got to welcome in as well, Chris Pro. Welcome to the FRL channel. Hope you're having a good weekend, of course. And anyone voting for a particular driver in the field? Do we feel that Vortel will eventually claim the victory today, or is there any other drivers that we should be looking out for? I do feel like we do need to be looking out for Moornweg in particular. Just that unbelievable quali lap in for the amateurs there, Rob.
Yeah, incredible stuff. It'll be exciting to see what Maximilian can do in P4 in the McLaren, the 442 McLaren. Super fast in practice, actually second overall in the practice session. Puts himself in a very good grid spot for the start of the race. He certainly knows his way around this track. And very much up in the mix with the pro drivers, as is Vloten and Kutas in P9 and P10 respectively, which is P2, P3 for the drivers. Exciting one. I think Robinson is doing very well in the championship, currently P2. He'll be hoping to make some moves to try and keep those run of points totting up, because we are missing Bruno Olmec this evening. Bruno Olmec is currently P1 in the AM and not on the grid today, so good points for Robinson. Could close that gap. It is quite a big gap to close, but excellent opportunity for him to make his way towards the top of the leaderboard, as we are now down to the 1 minute 30 marker. There will be an outlap and it will be Pedro Silva leading the way.
Well, I'm just looking at the leaderboard now. So there is currently a 45-point gap between Olmec and Robinson. So, depending on how Robinson does today, could well be... could well either close up the gap or even take the lead after this round at Valencia, round 6, of course. Maybe a costly mistake for not turning up for Olmec. Perhaps had real life stuff in the background that he couldn't make it for today. But big opportunity for Robinson in this race, of course, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. Big points on offer. Obviously, there are 2 races, a 20-minute and a 40-minute race. He will want to make as many inroads to that P1 position as he possibly can. Number 52 wins. Italian driver Naisbitt goes higher. So we have a fan of the number 52, which of course is Matteo Di Stefano, currently sat P3 in the 52 Ferrari. And Dan Naisbitt, again, one of our own FRL. Mr. Naisbitt is currently P16 in the 242 Lamborghini Huracan.
Yeah, and interestingly, battling with fellow FRL driver Friedman in P15.
Indeed, yeah.
It's the war of the FRL drivers, Rob. Okay, so the drivers just getting away for their formation lap. So just to run you through the order then, on row 1 we have Silva and Vortel, of course, both of them being the McLaren drivers. Then we've got Di Stefano and Moornweg, so pro and amateur driver side by side on row 2. Then we've got Melvin Kroes and Busov on row 3, so Ferrari against Porsche. Then we've got Souza and Kobe on row 4, McLaren against Ferrari. And then Vloten against Coiters on row 5. Of course, both of them amateur drivers, Rob.
Yeah, very, very good qualifying session from them. They're going to want to get in amongst these pros, obviously. For any sim racer, the idea is to be racing in amongst the best drivers that you can possibly be racing against, and they have certainly put themselves in amongst the mix this evening.
Oh, for sure. For sure, yeah. We did call it, didn't we, at the start of the broadcast, that the pros and the AMs, you know, it seems like not too much difference between the drivers if you take away perhaps the top three. So this is going to be such an interesting watch here, Rob. Can't wait for this.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic race. I'm quite a big fan of Valencia. It always offers a very good motorcycle race. I haven't seen car racing here before, so this is a first for me. I'm hoping it'll be a great race.
Indeed, and of course, you know, very important for the drivers to try and keep it on circuit, give a bit of space. Of course, you know, you are racing against each other, but you know, you don't want to be ruining your race at turn one, of course, because, you know, races can be certainly lost on turn one, and you definitely can't win races from turn one, of course. So that was the wrong saying there, Rob, because it was the other way round. But
you can win it in.
Yeah.
So you must win the race into turn one.
But yeah, drivers are just lining up now as we await the green lights here to start round 6 of the FRL Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Series. And away we go, green lights, of course, and Silva gets an excellent start from Vortel. Vortel on the right-hand side of Silva as we go around this fast left-hander. Vortel holds on to that P2 with Di Stefano in P3 and Morveg in P4 and Kroos P5. Oh, there's contact! There's big contact. Kroos in the middle of the track and gets collected by a few cars behind. Also, Kobe Alerts gets collected by, I'm not sure who that other Ferrari driver is. It might have been, I can't get to that driver, unfortunately. We'll catch back up with them drivers, but yes, disastrous start for them drivers, and yeah, for P1 at the moment. So I'll wait for the grid to sort itself out. We still got Silva and Vortel together. Sorry, go on.
I do believe it was possibly Townsend that lost out there. I was driving on board as the contact happened. It was between sorry, I've lost the page now. It was Max that got tagged, which was pushed wide, and then obviously that car started to turn, collected quite a few of the other cars as well. So absolute disaster, as the number 39, which is Fernka, is also off. It looks like we've had more contact towards the back of the grid. Fernka in the gravel there, and another car shooting off to the left hand side. That's the 246. That is Trotman off the track as well. Oh, there's disaster everywhere. Sure, there's cars everywhere.
Oh my God, I think that was Chris Gedman just about squeezing through. There was almost a big tangle between Gedman and Morley, but just about gets his way through that pack there. But yeah, Fernka down into P24, so an absolute disaster for him at the start of this race. Oh, there's contact again. I think that's Gedman. Yeah, Gedman gets tagged and spins it.
The 79 and the number 19 car, 79 is indeed Chris Gedman.
Oh, and there's more drivers behind as well. Yeah, that's the yeah Petra or Peter in P25 gets collected, and Kobe Alerts as well.
Morley has just spun it. He's just spun it around all on his own as well, trying to way back to the pit. So absolutely disastrous start for those guys. The 334 of Callaghan after his big contact returns to the pit, as does Ruse. I didn't see Ruse involved in any of that, but his car is absolutely battered front and rear, so he's had a big off. He's currently in the pits.
Do you think that's a retirement? I think that may well be, Rob.
It could be a retirement. Some of the drivers will return to pit and get their cars repaired and get back out on track. Others will decide that is it, my race is done. So a lot of incidents early on in this race. It is only a 20-minute race, and we are only 3.5 minutes into that race. But we have more incident there as the number 84 car is under yellow flag. That is Cablo in the last corner. He's literally just stopped on the track. No, returns to pits.
So car retirement, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, Cablo. We haven't seen Cablo drive before in this series. As Lee Cablo makes his debut for the Sunday evening season racing at FRL. As we see another person in the box with very heavy damage.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, it was. So Callaghan in the pits, is he? Yes. Roos, Fernker as well. Cablo. So yeah, Morley's the last of the drivers that are on circuit right now. So yeah, 3 cars that have retired from the race then. So unlucky for them. I will turn my attentions to the top 2 though, Rob, because currently between Silva and Vortel having a bit of a ding-dong battle at the moment as we come across the line to complete 3 laps of this race. Vortel is 7 tenths behind Silva and clearly not giving up without a fight here, although it goes a little bit wide out the exit there. Really good, skillful driving, keeping hold of that car, of course, and actually closing that gap a little bit to Silva. But yeah, Silva doing excellent in P1, of course. Is the fastest man on the circuit with the fastest lap time as well. Stefano actually keeping chase with the top 2 as well, so only 5 tenths behind Vortel as well, with Busov up into P4 now, Rob.
Yeah, good start there from Busov, kept himself out of the mess, but amongst the chaos that we were keeping an eye on, Sean, Warburg has now gone backwards, and Sven has taken the lead on the AM race in the number 12 Ferrari. So I'm not sure if there was an incident there, but Maximilian has gone backwards. He now sits P7 overall, P2 in the AM. As we see Chris Knight rounding up P3 for the AM category.
Yes, and all over the back of Townsend for P or battling for P12. So Knight is P13 overall, but P3 for the amateurs. But doing an excellent job in that position, and you know, Townsend is an experienced pro driver, and putting him under all sorts of pressure as we see drive through for track limits. Car number 321. That is Sousa, Rob.
Yeah, see, that's just what I was saying just before we started the event. I'm not very experienced driving around this track, and the guys are using all of the curbs and some. I'm not sure where the game does start applying penalties, but if riding on board with Sousa at the minute, he gets the car right out into the green. So yeah, I'm not sure where they are picking those track limits up, but obviously he's picked up one too many, and he's going to have to do a drive-through.
Yeah, and that is going to be costly for his race, of course. Obviously in P5 at the moment, quite early on in this sprint race. So I would imagine he'll be knocked down to at least top 20, I think, Rob.
Yeah, again, unfamiliar with the drive-through. It's quite a long pit lane here at Valencia, so I'm not quite sure of the time Delta lost for the drive-through, but yeah, he's definitely going to go back a significant amount of places.
Well, we're just turning our attentions back to the top 2 because Vortel has closed that gap on Silva. It is down to less than 4 tenths of a second, and we're just coming around the final corner to finish lap 5. This is going to be a close battle here, Rob. This Vortel, of course, a very experienced driver, and currently leading the championship as well. So, is that the same driver again?
No.
Oh, right.
No, he's got 1 lap remaining. That was his second warning, so he hasn't stopped yet. Interestingly, though, between the battle between Silva and Vortel at the top, wow, Pedro Silva's last lap time and Vortel's last lap time were almost identical, Sean.
Yes, of course, and as we know with this circuit, with probably like 2 to 3 corners at best, Rob, are probably overtaking opportunities. It is pretty much cat and mouse through the rest of the circuit. It's about just following the leader and making sure that you've closed the gap enough that by the time you get to the long straight for the start-finish line, that you're close enough to perhaps use that slipstream and overtaking before turn 1.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge to get past one another here at Valencia. As we said at the beginning, the circuit was designed for motorcycles, so it's interesting to see where the guys and where the drivers are looking to make opportunity. Obviously, turn 1 could be a good opportunity as long as the exit out of the final corner is good. Slipstream doesn't seem to be closing too much between Silva and Vortal, and quite confusingly my leaderboard now says both of them have the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, same here. So a slight glitch there, but look how close Vortal is to the back of Silva now. Near enough touching as we went through that corner. So Vortal applying that pressure, and of course he's in a win-win situation here, isn't he? He's currently leading the championship, and he's got nothing to lose here. Silva's got everything to lose here, as the announcer for halfway through the race is now applied. So yeah, just under 10 minutes of the first race remaining. It seems like Vortal is trying to set himself up for the final turn so that he can get the move done. So we'll remain on board for now. Seems to be a train of cars in front, so some back markers by the looks of it, Rob. This could get a little bit tasty.
Yes, the 334 and the 39 of Callaghan and Frinker obviously both pitted for repairs, so the front runners are now catching up with Robbo Furka and Callaghan. There is a double yellow on the circuit. According to... Nope, we're all good. That is the number 84 car.
That is Gedman, isn't it?
Cablo,
oh, sorry, Cablo. Yeah,
Cablo still in the pit, which is weird that it's still giving double yellow across the pit line, across the home straight for that car that is in the pit. I'm still super confused about the fastest lap situation, but these guys are running almost identical pace. Vortal with a little cheeky look up at the inside as they come towards Affision, left-hander as they go down a hill towards turn 8.
Well, interestingly, Rob, sorry to interrupt you there, but just looking aboard with Mornveg, there is a bit of a battle for the amateur drivers for P5 and P6 at the moment. Mornveg is all over the back of Quetas, who's managed to get himself up into P1 for the amateurs, of course. Mornveg desperately wants to get that position back. But yeah, absolute fantastic to see the amateurs right up there at the top of the grid.
Yeah, of course, we know Max was super quick in practice and also with a phenomenal qualifying lap as well. Unfortunately, did get caught up in the earlier kerfuffle into turn 2. Which has forced him backwards a little bit, but still driving very well and very much still right on the back bumper of Sven. As we come now just over 7 minutes remaining in race number 1.
Indeed. I was just keeping an eye on the top 2. They are literally nose to tail. This is going to be a hard-fought victory if Silva does end up staying in front of Vortal, of course.
Vortal was marginally quicker the last lap, and when I say marginally quicker, we're talking 1/1000th of a second. These guys are running pretty much lap after lap, identical lap times. It's quite phenomenal to see, really. So they're doing a super job, and now I'm wondering, is that fastest lap actually an identical lap?
Well, it wouldn't be the first time, Rob, eh?
No.
But yeah, I mean, Vortel is really applying that pressure now. I mean, look how close it is between the top two here. I mean, you could literally breathe on the car in front. It is that close. As we come around the final corner, Vortel tried to take a wider line out. And Silva is feeling that pressure because he weaved to the side to stop Vortel following him. Vortel just kind of stayed on the outside there, just said, look, mate, you do what you like. I'm sticking to my own lines. And you know, I think that is a message to Vortel saying that, you know, Silva thinking, well, I am definitely under pressure and I'm feeling the effects of Vortel trying to keep cool. And we'll see what happens in the last 5.5 minutes, Rob.
Yeah, still driving incredibly well though. Pedro Silva out in front in the 55 McLaren, but yeah, he knows full well the pace of Vortel, and he knows probably full well that if the opportunity arises, Vortel will absolutely take it. Maybe just showing the defensive nature as he made his way. Maybe he got a bit of a weaker exit and thought I'd better cover it off, then realised his exit wasn't as bad as he thought. I know we were all speculating at this point, but super close between these two. I cannot take my eyes off this one.
Yes, indeed. And just wanted to give you a quick update as well. So Moornweg has managed to leapfrog Koiters into P5 as well. So there may have been an incident between... well, maybe not an incident. Maybe Koiters made a mistake because currently the gap is 1.6 seconds from Moornweg to Koiters now. So yeah, Moornweg looking good for the win for the amateurs right now.
Yeah, Maximilian probably be out of position really there in P5 with the earlier the pace that he was setting. But he'll be happy with that. He'll be happy with the P1, I am sure, with 4 minutes 20 on the clock. And around 1 minute 32 lap time. We're going to see a couple more racing laps between these guys. Vortel is all over the back of Silva.
Yes, indeed. In fact, he probably got a little bit too close to Silva there. Had to kind of back off, and that gap has widened slightly. I mean, I say slightly, Rob, because I mean they are still neck and neck, of course, but yeah, Vortel really trying to apply that pressure. I feel like Vortel feels like he can give a lot more when he's just kind of waiting for that opportunity, maybe waiting for Silva to perhaps make a mistake out of one of the corners. But so far so good from Silva, withstanding the pressure. Of course he is leading, so doing excellent. And yeah, 3.5 minutes left now. Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting finish to race one here at Valencia.
Stick on board with this towards the end, and I'll flick through some of the other. We've got Molnick's trying to apply the pressure onto Sven. Obviously Sven is in the AM category, currently P2 in the AM category, P6 overall, so Molnick's trying to apply some pressure there. We've also got Freeman also trying to apply quite a lot of pressure. There's Dan Naisbitt in front of him, and Townsend and Blims all in quite a little tight pack, making their way to the final corner as we see a car round. Oh, it's Chris Gedman again. Unfortunately, he's gone round. Not sure if he's been involved in an incident there or has just lost that one on his own. But yeah, Chris Gedman, P25 for him so far. Race to forget. For that one as he's turned the car around.
We've got Will Friedman on Naisbitt here. The battle of the FRL drivers, of course. Naisbitt goes very wide out of turn 1. So he's going to have to be really careful. But this is a very close battle. But, oh, actually Friedman gets a better exit. It looked like he was going to go up the inside. But, of course, this is the twisty part of the circuit. I don't think two goes into one, really. But Friedman applying all sorts of pressure to Naisbitt. Naisbitt will be looking heavily in his mirrors, trying to fend off Friedman. But actually there is about 4 cars in close proximity between P9 Blims, Townsend in P10, Naisbitt in P11 and Friedman, of course, in P12.
Brilliant stuff from there. Super close between the two FRL drivers. I think, yeah, definitely, Sean, this will be the lap, well, not this one, as Silver crosses the line, we will start the final lap of the race. There won't be enough time to get round again. So, all to play for Vortel. Is he going to get it done this lap?
Oh, well, look how wide Silver goes out of turn one there. Vortel actually kind of followed his line. I'm not sure he went as wide as Silver, but yeah, Silver. Oh, I was just about to say Silver maybe getting a little bit twitchy, a little bit nervous, but then Vortel with a slight loss of grip out of that corner, Rob, as you called out. Loses the rear slightly, but yeah, still on the back of Silver. So can Silver hold his nerve? There is two cars side by side in front of them. Can't see who that is. 6 and 9. 6 and 9 in front. That is, we'll remain on board with these two, but yeah, it's Townsend and Petra or Peter, the Polish driver. So yeah, they well, he just gives way to him now because blue flags would have been waved. So no time lost there for either Silver or Vortel for the battle of the lead here. But yeah, this is going right to the white, and I do believe, Rob, this is the last. Is this the last lap, or will it be the last lap the next lap?
I think it will be... Will they take the checkered flag? I think they will take the checkered flag.
I think you may be right.
The time has expired, the checkered flag is out, and Pedro Silva takes the victory in race number 1 with Vortal in P2. Di Stefano in the 52 with P3. Super close race between those three.
And then we've got Warnveg coming across the line now to win for the amateurs and P5 overall. Fantastic result for Warnveg with Molnix in P6 for the pros. Coitus will get P2 for the amateurs. Then Grace P8, Blims P9. Townsend gets the top 10 position with Naisbitt ending up finishing in front of Friedman. P11 for Friedman, P12. And then Melvin Crowes P13. Chris Knight P14, Robinson P15. Of course, Knight is podium for him for the amateurs, and P4 for Robinson in P4. So Vloten ends up in P5 for the amateurs with Rickton Brave P6 for the amateurs, and also overall P15, 16 and 17 respectively, with Souza finishing in a disappointing P18 for the pro drivers, and Descartes and Daybell rounding up the top 20 there.
Yeah, just watching the last couple of drivers. Trotman takes the checkered flag, P21 for him. We are waiting on Townsend, who has now taken the checkered flag. Peter, Kobe, Chris Gedman still out on circuit, coming up to take the checkered flag right about now, and does so indeed. P25 for him, and that is it.
What an incredible race there for race 1 of the FRL Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Sunday Series. We had Silva that claims P1 in that McLaren. It's an all front row actually for McLaren, because Vortel also in the McLaren gets P2. Then Stefano in P3 for that Ferrari. Busov ends up in P4 with Molnveg, as we mentioned before, claims the victory for the amateur drivers in P5. Then we got Molnix in P6 with Coitus in P7, second for the amateurs. Grace in P8, Blims in P9. Townsend gets the top 10 finish there with Naisbitt in P11, Friedman in P12, Crowes in P13. Chris Knight gets P3 for the amateurs and 14th overall, with Robinson in P15 and 4th in the amateurs. Vloten P16, Rickton Brave 17th, Souza 18th, Descartes P19, Daybell in P20. Then we got Trotman in P21, Townsend in P22. I still can't say Bazniak in P23, Kobe Alerts in P24, Chris Gedman in P25, Morley in P26, Roos in P27, Callaghan in P28 with Furco in P29, and then Cablo Myler didn't finish the race, it seems.
Both retired. Cablo early on caught up in an incident early on. I didn't see what happened to Mailer that race, but yeah, he also retired the car early on. And I still cannot answer who got the fastest lap of the race, because it's still remaining both purple.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. But yeah, perhaps they. Oh no, I haven't got enough space on disc. Oh no. Can I save the replay? Is that going to let me? I don't know. It seems a little bit strange that I'll be able to save the replay but not save the highlights. Okay. It seems to have... I don't know if that's saving them up. I'm going to come out.
We shall find out shortly.
Yeah. So yeah, back to the garage then. So yeah, we'll just await for race 2 to start. Of course, there'll be a little bit of a gap between races as the drivers do sort out their car setups, put the right amount of fuel in, of course, and then that'll be followed by a formation lap as well. But yeah, fantastic race 1 there. More of the same, please, for race 2, Rob.
Yeah, yes, please. Another 20 minutes or so of that would be incredible. Obviously, this race is 40 minutes. It's still incredibly warm out there. 39 ambient, 51 degrees track temperature. Absolutely no wind in Spain right now. So super, super hot. 40-minute race. Pedro Silva on P1.
Yes, indeed, with Rawtail just behind. So we'll see if roles will be reversed in race 2 or not. But just wanted to quickly say hello to chat. Bill Mobo, didn't get a chance to say hello to you, so welcome on in, of course. Always a pleasure to have you in here. He was just saying I missed a kerfuffle. Love a good kerfuffle. We've also got Dan in here as well, and Midnight as well. Midnight, of course, if you don't know, guys, is Luke Taylor, who is co-commentator for me on the Taco Tuesday Tier 2. So, yeah, welcome on in, Midnight. Hope you're doing well. So, yes, I was just going to say then, so it is the same applied to race 1. We've got Silver Vortel on row 1, Stefano and Mornveg on row 2, and yeah, doing it for the amateurs, of course, Mornveg in their car, number 442 in the McLaren. Then we've got Kroos and Busov on row 3, with Sousa and Alerts on row 4, Vloten and Coitus doing it for the amateurs as well on row 5.
Yeah, it'll be interesting stuff, this one. 40 minutes the race. I'm sure cleaner start in P4 currently. Went backwards in race 1. Still took the victory in the AM series, but he's very much involved with those pro drivers. He definitely has the pace to keep with those pro drivers, so clean. He'll be hoping for a much cleaner race. To be honest, after the first race, I think most of them will be hoping for a much cleaner race. We did unfortunately get 2 DNFs in round 1. There were a lot of incidents early on. Stuart's going to be quite busy tonight, I believe.
Yes, indeed. Well, in fact, where is Myler?
20 seconds.
Has he? I'm just trying to find where he is on the grid.
I don't think he... No, we are down to 30 drivers now, so Myler hasn't took his grid position for race number 2. I can't see an empty grid spot. I don't know whether it automatically fills it.
It's such a shame as well, because Myler was one of my tips to, at least get a podium here today. Was so impressed from his performance in the last round at Donington. Yeah, unfortunate, really. But yeah, we still got a good 30 drivers on circuits, and this promises to be an awesome race. Drivers will want to be a little bit more careful this time round, though, Rob. There was, as we mentioned, quite a few cars collected in the midfield pack. So this time round, You know, it's a longer race, 40 minutes here, of course. You know, a lot to play for. So, you know, kind of air that side of caution for the drivers. But yeah, you try telling that to a racing driver, of course, Rob.
Yes, the opportunities there, people will want to take it. So Pedro Silva leading the guys and girls out for race number 2, making their way around turn 6, which is actually called Angel Nito Corner, another fantastic motorcycle rider in the day. So a bit of a track fact for you, Sean. Most corners here are named after motorbike riders, except one. Would you like to hazard a guess which corner isn't?
Put me out of my misery, Rob.
The last corner here at Valencia is actually named after F1 driver Adrian Campos.
Ah, very interesting. Okay. I mean, I do apologise, Rob. I'm not experienced with the motorbike world, of course. I know you love your motorbikes, Rob. But you know, I mean, I looked at the track map and I couldn't pronounce one of their names.
Turn 2, his name's Mick.
Oh yeah, well, apart from Mick, Doohan. Yeah, there we go. Apart from maybe that one, but every other, or maybe Campos, obviously, but that's the F1 driver. But yeah, I will leave the pronunciations to you, Rob.
I'll probably butcher them accordingly.
But yeah, the driver's just coming around the final turn there, so just getting into grid order, of course, as we await the green lights and come across the start-finish line to start race 2 of round 6 of the FRL Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Series Sunday. And it's green, and away we go. And Silva gets a very good start. A big gap over Vortel in P2, Stefano P3. In fact, is that Mornveg just no. He's actually been nudged off the circuit, but Mornveg gets in front. Will have the outside line, of course, of Stefano. There's a little bit of contact as well, and Mornveg loses a position to Kroos, who goes up the inside, I believe. And Mornveg will tuck just in front of Busov, who is in P6 with Souza in P7. Is there any cars off? I think there might be one. It's number 84, I believe, Rob.
Yeah, number 84 has found him off at the circuit, and unfortunately 2 of the drivers, Sean, number 84 being one of them, did start the race out of position and immediately picked up drive-through penalties. So that's Louis Descartes in the 205 BMW, currently P23, started the race out of position, and also Cablo, as we've just seen, facing the wrong way on circuit in the number 84 BMW, also starting the race out of position. They both pick up a drive-through penalty. Not the way you want to start your 40-minute race.
No, not at all. And what I will say to you, Rob, is Busov has moved down into P7 because Souza has leapfrogged him into P6. So I'm not 100% sure what happened there, because Mornveg was just in front of Busov. But yeah, Mornveg in P5 and of course P1 for the amateurs, doing excellent after the first lap, of course. Sorry,
Robbo Fernker looking to make a move into turn 1. No, backs out of it.
There's contact. No,
big contact.
Fernker goes sideways, losing many positions as well. And there's another car off as well, and I don't know what car number that was. It was a purple one. That's all I saw.
It was a purple one. It was the number 69 car of Blims. He has immediately returned to the pit. Yeah, absolute passenger in that one. Blims nowhere to go. The stationary car of I think he's actually left the server after that one.
Oh dear. There's Knight also in the pits as well. I think may have retired, and a drive-through penalty for Kabler. I think he is serving his drive-through penalty now. Descartes as well, also with a drive-through penalty in P19. So again, he will need to serve that penalty. He'll be towards the back of the grid, of course.
Yeah, both drivers starting out of position, obviously on the formation lap. It is crucial you get your car in the right position, otherwise the game will give you a drive-through penalty. A 40-minute race is not where you want to be, as Will Friedman is in the box as well.
Oh dear, oh dear. So, yeah, pretty poor race for certain drivers. Yeah, Friedman in the pits. Looks like he has retired from the race. So unlucky from Friedman. We'll get on board with the top two because Vortel went a little bit deep actually into the corner there. It looked like he closed right up on Silva. Silva manages to pull away slightly because of that slight mistake from Vortel. But we're only 4 minutes into race 2 here, so 36 minutes to go, a long way ahead of us, but so far so good for Silva, who is 8 tenths in front of Vortel in P2. Then we've got Di Stefano, who's in P3 as well, 6 tenths behind Vortel, with Kroos just behind him as well in P4. And Moornweg keeping chase with the top 4 drivers as well. So Moornweg doing excellent for the amateurs with Sousa just behind in P6, Busov in P7, Kobe not too far behind in P8 as well. And then we've got Grace and Vloten rounding up the top 10. Also P2 for Vloten in the amateurs, of course.
Yeah, Dylan Vloten in the 160 Ferrari. He's currently sat P2 in the AMS with Sven Kutas in P3. We also have Damien Roos and Morley, Brendan Morley, who was very fast in the practice session. Very impressed with Brendan's time in the practice session. He rounds up the top 5 for the AM category. Matteo Di Stefano, Sean, very good result in race 1, but showed very good pace. He couldn't quite keep with the front runners, but he was right there the entire race, and he's just set the fastest lap of the race also. So he's really pushing the car. It's a 1:32.3 last lap, which is the one that set the purple lap. So really pushing this race, and I think he will want to tag onto the back of these two because they are incredibly quick.
Yes, indeed, and clearly a man on form then, and of course as Silva and Vortel battle away, of course that is going to make them slower, so therefore Stefano will be pulled into this battle, and also setting lap times like that, which is absolutely incredible. He's got every chance here.
Yeah, well he'll be, I imagine with the two, if race 1 is anything to go by, Silva and Vortel will be bumper to bumper for the entirety of the 40-minute race. We're 6 minutes into the race and they haven't left each other alone yet. No opportunities as such for Vortel to take the lead, but it didn't look like there was much of an opportunity in race 1. Silva absolutely driving the wheels off that McLaren. And Stefano will definitely want to just try and tag onto the back and stay in the slipstream and pick up any pieces if there are any pieces to be picked up.
Yes, indeed. It is a little bit of deja vu, to be honest, between the top two. We pray that Stefano can keep pace with the front two. It'll be nice to have a 3-way battle for the lead in this race. And to be honest, though, Rob, even like Kroos and Moornweg, not too far behind actually. Doing better in this race, perhaps not so many incidents at the front. So, to be honest, perhaps not quite in the running for the lead, but respectable pace nevertheless, though.
Yeah, we're only just coming up to 8 minutes into the 40-minute race. We know he's very fast. Had a very good race 1, albeit having to go a little bit backwards to start with. Kroos also having a very good race. They definitely are in the battle. Can they get just a little bit more, just extract a little bit more out of the lap time? It is difficult to pass here. The car 79, who's that? The car number 79, that is Chris Gedman. Off the circuit again. He's had an absolute nightmare of an evening. Poor Chris finds himself facing the other way. And 51, who's that? Number
51 is
Chris Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chris Knight, currently P17 in the AM leaderboard, in the standings, and finds himself in the pits early on in race number 2.
Oh dear. Yeah, not good for him, of course. So yeah, who's that?
Sorry, Sean. So we've got a very interesting battle in the M category. Currently sat P12 and 11. So we have it is Damien Ruse and Morley, Brendan Morley, who was again very fast in practice, just switched onto their race, and they were absolutely side by side going up towards Doon Corner, which is turn 2. No move made, but very close racing. It's also very close in front of them with Sven and Vlotten in the 12 and 160 Ferrari respectively. So yeah, very good racing going on in the middle of the pack for the AMs. Mornweg leading the way still in P1 for the AMs.
Yeah, he's got to be very proud of his performance today. He's been quick throughout this whole, throughout all the sessions, to be honest, practice, quali, and the racing sessions. Yeah, fantastic for the amateurs. I do suspect, Rob, with these kinds of performances, it won't be too long until you'll find him in the pro category, I think.
Yeah, I was just checking up some stats there for Maximilian. He's currently just under 2,000 on the sim grid, so he's clearly a quick driver. Only attended 2 sessions of this season so far. Round 1 he picked up 6 positions. We then missed 4 races back to back. Last weekend out picked up a P5 in race 1 and a P7 in race 2. He definitely found his feet around Valencia, and he's putting in some absolutely phenomenal lap times. So well done to him. Currently 8/10 of a second behind Crows. That doesn't look like 8/10 of a second. I'll wait for that timer to update. But yeah, currently a few tenths away.
Oh, he's going a bit. Oh, that's lag. That's got to be lag. Oh, I've got connection failure. Oh no.
Okay, get yourself back in. I will keep on board and just give you an audio commentary for now. So Vortel still 5/10 of a second behind Silva. They are running pretty much identical lap times again. Matteo Di Stefano in P3. He has closed that gap to Vortel, so he's starting to chase them down. So a very good drive from him so far. P3 out last race. He might be able to get in amongst those front runners of Pedro Silva and Vortel. Very good drive from him so far. A few seconds back to that, we do have Crows, and then we have the first of our AM drivers, which is Matt Mornweg in the 442 McLaren. Have you got yourself back in?
Yes, I am, yeah. I'm getting quicker at these button pushes now, Rob. Yeah, that was a really weird moment there. I thought Mornweg had gone right off the circuit, but yeah, of course it had to be lag. So yeah, good to see that Mornweg is still on the circuit, and yeah, still excellent. 9/10 is it to Crows? So yeah, still in the hunt for this P4 overall. Of course, it doesn't really matter to Mornweg. It's more about bragging rights, really, isn't it? I suppose. But yeah, currently in the lead for the amateurs. I don't think he can earn any more points for finishing in top 4, is it, Rob? So,
as far as I am aware, nope. He will take the victory in his category. Unfortunately, he will not get any more points. But like you say, bragging rights, call it bragging rights, call it racing experience. He's racing in amongst those pro drivers. If he does have the ambition to move up to the pro, those are the guys that you want to be racing in and amongst and around with.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, no, like I say, doing very, very proud. These are very fast pro drivers as well. So, these are not second-rate drivers, of course. So yeah, definitely take a lot of pride in the drive today for sure. But yeah, no, the race not over, of course, so I don't want to sing his praises too early on in the race. But yeah, doing an excellent job, and Sousa struggling to catch up with him in P6. Busov as well. This has got to hurt Busov at the moment, Rob, because Busov is in P7 currently. Oh, Sousa went a little bit wide at that last turn, so Busov has closed that gap on Sousa. Maybe this is the spur that Busov needs at the moment, because he really can't afford to drop too many points in these races. Of course, in P2, 12 points separating him and Vortel, who is currently leading the championship with what looks like 2 second positions for Vortel at the moment. This has got to be hurting Busov, so Vortel will need to push on for the remaining 26 minutes.
Vortal is certainly pushing on now. He's got just a couple of tenths behind Silva. He managed to close that gap down a little bit. Got a bit of a poor exit out of the last corner, which is a shame. But yeah, very much on the back of Silva still. 25 or just under 26 minutes remaining in this race as Silva goes exceptionally wide out of turn 1 and now through Doohan. Surely that's there's a track limit there in there somewhere.
Yeah, it does seem like the track limits are a little bit more extended on this circuit. Normally with ACC, you really do need to keep it between the white lines, but it seems like there's a lot of runoff areas for the drivers to exploit. I do normally believe that where they sort of the green AstroTurf, you can kind of get 2 wheels on, and as long as your other 2 wheels are sort of outside of that white line, that can be deemed as not cutting track limits, I believe. Rob.
Yeah, I was going to say we were before the Cota race last week, well not last week, the week before. Obviously I was absent last week, unfortunately, but I tried to set some lap times on Cota on ACC, and it took me about 14 laps to even get one between the white lines. The track limits were so tight, but it seems like they have definitely got a little bit more room, a little bit more wiggle room to play with here this evening at Valencia. So say Silva was definitely using all of the track limit and some that last time round. Oh, who knows, that could have been his first warning. We do see him right out in the green again.
Yeah. I mean, if that is the case, and that is cutting track limits, that is the second at least, isn't it? And I believe it's 3 warnings does result in a drive-through penalty. So definitely,
it's 3 indeed.
Yeah, there definitely needs to watch out. And yeah, Vortel all over the back of him now as well. That it looks like less than 2 tenths the gap between them. And oh my God, Vortel gets a good exit out of that turn. Silva actually going wide, and this could be the case here, Rob. That with the track temperature at 51 degrees, and Silva goes wide. Vortel up the inside. Vortel makes it stick, and Vortel is in the lead of the race at the moment.
Absolutely fantastic move. He waited lap after lap, and it did take just that small mistake from Pedro Silva, left the door open. Vortel says thank you very much, glides one through on the inside, gets that P1. Now we will see, in my opinion, we will either see another close battle here, or we will see Vortel really be able to stretch his legs now. Can Silva stay in touch with Vortel, or is that curtains for the race? We know how Vortel can get into a rhythm, just disappear.
Yes, indeed. In that so many times that Vortel has managed to extend the lead, and of course Di Stefano just behind Silva as well. So Vortel will be praying that Di Stefano can get to the back of Silva to make him nervous, start battling away so he can extend the gap of the 2 cars behind him. So we'll see how it goes, but we've got 22 minutes left of the race, so a long way to go still, Rob.
Yeah, just coming up to the halfway mark. Matteo has been driving absolutely fantastic tonight, I must say, in P3 currently. Trying to close that gap down to the front runners as we see Silver start to go wide again. Sean, are those tyres starting to overheat? This is my thinking. They are now coming up to half race distance. We did see in that first race, towards the end of the race, a couple of cars starting to really struggle. We even saw Vortel starting to lose the back end of the vehicle towards the end of the race. I'm wondering whether the guys are starting to struggle with these temperatures. Obviously the track is still 51 degrees, 39 ambient.
Yeah, I was literally about to get onto that point, Rob. But you know, great observation there. Yeah, 51 degrees, absolutely insane. That will be melting the tyres, of course. So a lot of tyre degradation, and of course tyres overheating at the same time. So yeah, you could quite well be right here, Rob. It does look like Silver's really struggling, and Busov is starting to pull a gap on him now. And Stefano getting very close to the back of Silver, so perhaps not quite getting his car set up for this double length sprint race.
Yeah, Silver's car is starting to look quite a handful as we see Matteo Di Stefano really starting to pile the pressure on now. Vortel has increased his lead at the front to just over 1 second as they work their way through the sector 2. But yeah, Silver can't seem to hit the apexes in those sweeping corners. Obviously we're at the point of the track where Vortel got the move done, and it seems to be just pushing on those corners. He seems to be having a very difficult time of it.
Yeah, so perhaps, of course, you know, the two setups between race 1 and race 2 have to be quite a bit different because of these extreme temperatures. So perhaps not lowering the tyre pressures enough for race 2 here. As we just see Di Stefano making a rare mistake there, losing a bit of time to Silver in P2, so a little bit of breathing space for Silver. But as you can see, with the gap between Vortel and Silver, it is up to 1.2 seconds now, and it's getting bigger, to be honest.
Yeah, I did think was Vortel just going to start to run away with it. We know how fast he is, and we know once he gets into a rhythm, he does like to just disappear off into the distance. But yes, Silver's still looking like he's struggling a little bit with the setup there. The car's moving around a lot. It looks to be understeering quite a lot on entry, whereas Matteo is hitting every apex at the moment. Matteo Di Stefano in P3 is doing very, very well on his drive, and yeah, this could get very interesting. Still nearly 18 minutes to go, nearly 19 minutes to go.
Yes, indeed, Rob, indeed. I just wanted to have a quick look down the field just to see how the rest of the drivers are doing. Busov still currently in P7, having a hard time trying to pass Souza, who is in P6. The current gap is just half a second, as Souza does miss the apex there. So perhaps Souza's starting to struggle on them tyres as well. This is important for Busov to oh my god, and have I just cursed Busov because he got too much of that curb there, and actually did really well to stop the car from completely spinning out there, and didn't lose too much of a gap to Souza, who is still currently in P6, of course.
There's quite a few battles going up and down the field. Sven Kuijs is currently P3 in the AM. He's still trying to chase down Vloten down. Let me just make sure. Sorry, Dylan Vloten in the 160 Ferrari, 7/10 of a second, just coming over the line now. Really pushing. Some good battle going on there. We have quite a good battle also a little bit further down.
Yes,
Robinson.
Townsend, isn't it? Townsend on Morley, I believe, and makes the move stick. And Townsend moves up into P13. I was trying to look at the livery of Morley there. It looked like he had a Batman sticker or something. That's what it looked like from the side.
That's a Townsend getting it done then, getting the move done on Morley. Morley being an AM driver, Townsend is a pro driver, so gets the move done. He will be now chasing down Ruse, who is next up the road, currently sat P4 in the AM category, P12 overall, so yeah, good move.
Yeah, my eyes did actually deceive me there. I thought it was a Batman sticker, but it was just a case of a black and sort of yellow design there. But you know, near enough to a Batman kind of logo. We'll pretend anyway. Just looking a bit further down the field, it looks like that is pretty much the only other battle that we got on circuit. It's looking like the top three is the only other battle that's going on circuit. Perhaps Vortel starting to struggle a little bit because it looked like he was pulling away, but Silver. Oh no! Now it's 1.3 seconds. So it was 1 second. It's up to 1.3 seconds. In no way is that a comfortable lead for Vortel, of course. But yeah, Vortel. But perhaps with his setup, perhaps starting to struggle with the excessive tyre wear and excessive track temperature, of course.
Yeah, still very, very warm. Just checking in on chat. So we got 2S Nico. Evening, lads. Welcome in to you, Nico, and also Chucky, lad. Yeah, how is everyone? I'm all good, thank you, Chucky. And yeah, just been a warm, interesting couple of races tonight. Race 1, there was quite a few incidents on the track. Quite a few retires, and then race 2 we've got just over 15 minutes left of this one. Incredible battle going on at P1, P2 and P3. We also go Maximilian, top of the AM drivers, mixing it up with the pro drivers, having a fantastic race. Yeah, some good battles up and down the circuit. Rickton Brave now really pushing down on Dan Naisbitt in P16, P17. And what else? Oh, we've got contact. Rickton Brave has gone into the back of Dan there. I'm not sure what happened there, but there was definitely contact between the two drivers.
It does look like Rickton Brave has got a slight bit of damage, especially to the paintwork of the front splitter there. So yeah, you could be right there, Rob. But it doesn't look like it's affected too many things there. Naisbitt has a 1.4 second gap over Rickton Brave for P16. Callaghan keeping close attention to Rickton Brave in P18, currently 6 tenths behind, with Robinson a further 1 second behind Callaghan in P19, and that is also P6 for the amateurs as well.
Yeah, good stuff from him. I'm just having a look. So we have car number 69, Jay Blim, sat in the pits. I think that is a retirement. Chris Knight also in the pit. That's a definite retirement, 13 yep. laps down. And Cablo, the new debut. There's a word I can't say. Debutant tonight. Back in the pits again for another DNF for him.
And interestingly, Friedman is still out there. According to the leaderboards, he is 9 laps down to the leaders, but he is running out on circuit in P27. Cablo, as you mentioned, in the pits, 7 laps down. So, yeah, quite interesting to see Friedman still out on circuit. Did he just sort of stay in the pits and then just...
Box for repairs, I would imagine.
But 9 laps down, though?
There's a lot of repairs.
Yeah, so in fact, it says 10 laps now. So I'm not sure if that's a graphic mess up or not. But yeah, it's saying that he's P27 and he's out on circuit. So maybe just felt like a leisurely drive on a Sunday, perhaps, Rob.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened there. I was just about to say the action up top is just about to get hot because Silva the leaderboard was saying he was just a couple of tenths, so I clicked over to it, and no, he's not.
Yeah, I mean, his 7/10 is still reasonably close. It looked like Silver went a little bit wide out of the final exit there, but yeah, it's looking like Vortel is quite comfortable in the lead then. So 1.5 seconds is the gap to Silver. So as we alluded to earlier on, that once Vortel gets into the lead, it's very, very rare that he makes a mistake, and often he will pull a bit of a gap to the rest of the field. Well, it's looking like it at the moment. 1.5 seconds, okay, not a massive lead, but still, you know, enough of a lead to be quite comfortable. Stefano is not leaving the back of Silva, though. Currently, it's about 7/10 the gap. As every time I see Silva go wide, I think that he's going to get some sort of track limit warning or something, but seems to be getting away with it.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's definitely done it more than the allotted 3 times. So no track limit in force there, not this evening.
No, it's not looking like it at all. So perhaps maybe if you get your car in the gravel trap, maybe that's kind of track limits. I'm not sure, but yeah. At the moment, there's no moves to the field or to the top 3 drivers here. But yeah, just trying to look a bit further down, see if there's any closer battles. It's looking like Vloten has closed the gap on Morgan Grace for P9, as Morgan Grace goes very wide as well. Vloten gets a good apex, so he has closed that gap, I suspect, down to about 2 or 3 tenths now, so putting all sorts of pressure on that purple Ferrari, Morgan Grace.
Yeah, he had been closing for the last couple of laps. Just about 3 laps ago, it looked like there was an opportunist gap open for Vloten, opted to back out of it, and then that gap increased to about a second on Grace. But very much in the slipstream now, looks to the outside into turn 1. Can he get it done? Gets on the brakes.
Oh, is he going to try to switch around? Oh, it doesn't quite get the speed out of the exit. So for now, it looks like Grace is going to remain in P9. But of course, Vloten is not going to give up without a fight, and stays very close to the back of Grace. So I was going to say rooted to the back of Grace there. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this little battle, Rob.
Yeah, certainly keep our eyes on this one. It's been coming for a couple of laps, Sean, and Vloten has again gets a really good exit at that corner. Tries to put the pressure on to Grace. Just, is he going to make a move? I feel like there's a move here, and I feel the move is coming very...
Yeah, just a matter of time, I think, Rob. Yeah.
To make the way around turn 11 into the sector now.
And meanwhile, what that is doing as well, Rob, is introducing Coiters to this battle as well. So yeah, Vloten can't rest on his laurels here. He will need to make the pass soon, because if not, then he's going to have Coiters on his case, as well as just going down the back straight now. He's got the slipstream of Grace, but I do suspect that Grace will be able to defend that for now. But look how close Vloten is. Oh my God, nearly touching on the exit.
Yeah, something is definitely brewing here, Sean. This is probably there's one sticking around. Probably the closest bit of action we've got on track at the moment. Although Dan Naisbitt is also trying to put a push, build a bit of a charge on Molnick in P15-16, but still a few tenths away.
Yes,
but
indeed.
Definitely the one to be watching right now. Can Dylan get the move done? 7.5 minutes left of the race. Grace starting to look a little bit defensive. Misses the apex there.
It's close, it's close. Of course, Vloten had Grace on the outside there, who got his braking all wrong there, it seemed, but couldn't get the power down. So for the time being, he's still on the back of Grace here. So he will have to be a little bit patient, maybe try and set himself up for the final turn, which is just coming up now. Can he get a good run? Oh, I mean, Grace misses the apex completely. Surely Vloten has got more speed. They're both in the Ferrari as well, so... Oh, I'm a little bit surprised.
Ah! I just about... that was so close. So the battle up top between Vortel, Silva and Matteo Di Stefano, they came up to a bit of back traffic, which I believe was Louis Descartes in the 205. Yes, it was in the 205 BMW. Descartes did everything that he should have done, got out the way, but I'm not sure he realised that there was another car coming through, and came basically across the circuit to meet the apex. And I thought he was going to take Matteo out. Thankfully, nothing happened, and the position was taken. But for a moment there, that was nearly a oh dear moment.
Well, I mean, it's still... obviously it didn't affect him at all then, because, he's 7 tenths behind Silva then. The gap remains between Silva and Vortel, so Vortel looking very comfortable as we're approaching the last 5 minutes of the race. I do feel like this battle is not over for the podium runners.
Has somebody been off? Because Grace has lost a hell of a lot of positions. She wasn't. Oh,
yes, you are quite correct there. They were battling, weren't they? Coitus and Grace. Coitus is in P9 now. Perhaps Grace missed his braking or something. It did look like he was starting to struggle on them tyres. He kept missing the apex. So maybe, apologies there, guys. Just missed out as we did have to check on board with Stefano and Silva. But unlucky for Grace, down into P13.
Vloten up the inside, turn 2, gets it done.
Yes, indeed, he does. Didn't quite get the right on board there, but gets the inside line, and it does look like Grace is really struggling on them tyres. It's looking like the back end keeps slipping out and really struggling to keep the car pointing in a straight line. So.
Seems to be a lot of damage to the back of the bodywork at the back of that car as well. So maybe a little bit of damage.
Oh, that was a bit of lag then. Thought I was going to get disconnected there, Rob. But Grace definitely struggling. That gap is starting to extend to himself and Vloten. And oh god, we got Busov and Sousa side by side. It looked like Sousa went really wide out of the exit, and Busov has got the inside line for turn 1. He does make his stick, and Busov is up into P6. Sousa down into P7. Sousa still battling away, so this battle is not done for the time being. But this is good news for Sousa, for Busov, of course, because he is fighting for the championship. And with Vortel leading the race currently after 23 laps, Busov will now want to push as far up as he can possibly do in the final 3 minutes of this race, Rob.
Yeah, 3 minutes left, and also the time between Matteo Di Stefano in P3 and Pedro Silva in P2 had significantly came down. I'm not sure whether Silva had a little bit of moments, but that gap is starting to fall away.
Yes, indeed, quite an exciting end to the race, of course. Yes, there is going to be roughly about 2 laps remaining for the drivers, and that is 2 laps that Silva will come under massive amounts of pressure from Di Stefano, who is having a much more consistent race on race 2 of Valencia here. So yeah, this battle is not done, and I suspect that there could be a lot of drama in these closing stages.
Yeah, it's still a couple of minutes to go, a couple of laps remaining. Just have to give a little bit of a shout out. I don't think we've mentioned him at all this race, but Melvin Crows in P4 has had an excellent race as Sousa picks up a drive-through penalty.
Oh wow, what a time to get a drive-through penalty. That has eliminated his chances of a top 10 finish. In fact, it's still quite close between the drivers, so I believe he'll probably lose about 20 seconds. I think it's literally it's a drive-through penalty, isn't it? So taking, oh my god, he goes wide as well, Sousa, out of that corner. That is not going to help his cause, as Kobe was trying to get up the inside. That door is shut firmly shut on him, but of course that will lose him even more time. And yeah, this is the final lap, so Vortel has just started the final lap, but yes, that is gut-wrenching for Sousa.
Yeah, it's not the most ideal time to pick up a penalty, as I just driving on board with Callaghan in P16, the 334 McLaren, really starting to pile the pressure on Naisbitt in the 242. Obviously, that both in the pro category as well. In and amongst the AMs this evening, could have been a bit of an AM Sam. I'm not going to say it.
I so wish you did, Rob.
Oh no, Ruse drive through also for P10.
Oh, no way. So yeah, that is ruled out the top 10 finish for Damien Roos as well then, when he was looking so good there. But I will need to look on board with Vortel very shortly, because he is not far off the start-finish line. It's also looking like Di Stefano may need to settle for P3 here as well, because he is currently a second behind Silva. But yeah, gut-wrenching moment for Roos, of course. Sousa is slipping right down as well, so he's down the pecking order. But yeah, is it Vortel? Yeah, Vortel just coming across the start-finish line to win race 2 here at Valencia, with Silva in P2 and Di Stefano getting the last podium position, with Melvin Crows getting an excellent P4, and Mornveg will win the win race 2 for the amateurs. Excellent P5 for Mornveg, and Busov will claim a decent P6 in the end for him, with Kobe getting a P7. Coitus gets the P8. Damien Roos, it says P9, but he will be demoted, of course. I think he gets a 30-second penalty for not taking the drive-through penalty, so I think it'll be Townsend, P9. Oh, he comes in now. So, yeah, Morley will get P10 then. And Sousa is down in... I think Sousa's P11 then in the end. So just outside the top 10 for him. Vloten will get P13 overall with a P5 for him. Grace getting a P14. Naisbitt in the end getting P15 with...
Heartbreak for Ruse.
Yeah.
Not only did he pit to serve his penalty, obviously he takes the checkered flag in the pit lane and still receives the 30-second penalty for not serving the penalty.
I did suspect that may have been the case there, Rob. I'm going to see if I can quickly save this replay, Rob, but I'd be gutted if I can't, to be honest.
So I will run down the results for this race 2.
Yep, thank you, Rob.
So Maximilo Mornveg will take P1 in the McLaren, the 442 McLaren. Sven Koitus takes P2. Morley in P3. Then we've got Damien Vlotny in P4. In the 160 Ferrari. Robinson P5. Then we have Ruse with that unfortunate penalty right at the end, drops to P6 on that one. Rickton Brave comes home in P7. Then we got Dave Burl in P8. Louis Descartes takes P9 this one. P10 for Peter. Chris Gedman in P11. Cablo doesn't finish the race again. He will take P12. Well, he will take a DNF, as will Chris Knight, who also DNF'd. So congratulations to Maximilian. A phenomenal drive from him this evening in both of the races. Well done to him.
Yeah, fantastic drive there from Molenweg. And I'll just quickly run you through the pro drivers as well. So Zadnet Vortel does claim the race victory, and an excellent round 6 for him, P2 and the P1 for him. Then we got Silva, who gets a P2, but again, excellent round 6 for him, who gets the same results, basically, P1 and the P2. Then we've got Di Stefano gets the last podium position for the pro drivers, with Melvin Kroes getting an excellent P4 for the pros. Then Busov will get P5 for the pro drivers, with Kobe Alerts in P6, Townsend in P7, Souza will get a P8, and then Grace in P9, Molnix getting the top 10 position there, with Naisbitt in P11, Callaghan in P12, Trotman in P13, Townsend in P14, P15 for Friedman, and then of course the drivers who didn't make it to the end of the race, Fernker, Blims and Myler. Okay. So let's just quickly get the replay. I think it's saved, guys, so I'm going to quickly get that on board now. Oh, okay, that's interesting. We get 6 minutes. I suppose better than nothing, eh? Okay. So Rob, who would you say is your driver of the day today?
Tough one to call. It'd be an easy give, an easy to Max, obviously rounding up 2 wins in the arm. But for me, I think he's kept himself really quiet but drove an excellent couple of races. I think Melvin Kroes takes my driver of the day. Kept himself nice and clean and picks up a good chunk of points. P3 currently in the standings. He gets my vote.
And for the amateur drivers, would you say Molenweg probably deserves it?
Yeah, he's got to, hasn't he? First, I have yet to see him drive, so it's the first time I've got to see Max drive on the track. He absolutely bossed it, did a phenomenal job, and kept onto the back of that the battle for quite some time. So yeah, you've got to be given to Max. Fantastic stuff.
Right, well, what I will say then, guys, is looking ahead to the next week. We take you to a short trip to the land of Belgium for round 7 of the FRL Pure SimGear Super Sprint Series. We'll be at Zolder for the penultimate race of the season as we approach the business end of the championship. Will it be Vortel who takes the crown, or will it be Busov and co to share the spoils? Well, find out here, same place and time, on the Formula Racing League TV _PS5 channel. That'll be on the 27th of August, 7:45 PM British summertime. And yeah, we hope to see you there. I'm sure it's going to be very, very exciting. And just a quick note as well, we also have the FRL Season 10 of the Taco Tuesday Tier 2 event coming up this Tuesday on the 22nd of August at 8:15 PM British summertime. That is on the sister channel, that is the Formula Racing TV 2. Will be hosted by myself and Luke Taylor for the 60-minute race at Valencia. So I hope to see you on there too, with Tom Cairns hosting the Tier 1s on the brother channel. That is Formula Racing League TV PS5, which is obviously this channel. So obviously do give him some support too. But yeah, I've got to say, big congratulations to the podium runners of both categories there, everyone that took part and made it to the end of the race as well. Yeah, big thank you to the sponsors, of course FRL as well, for putting on such a brilliant event. Obviously thank you to all of you in chat as well, keeping us company and keeping us informed on certain things as well. So yeah, thank you so much to Dazza, Midnight, Chucky, Nico, Dan. We also had Gaming with Gordo as well. I didn't actually notice him earlier on. Of course, Bill, Chris, Nikki. I mean, the list goes on and on. Hazza Baldwin as well, and Scruff King. Absolutely delighted to see you guys in there as well. And of course, I've got to say a big thank you to my co-coms guy, Rob G. Barker. Thank you, mate.
Yes. Thank you, Sean, and thank you everybody for this evening. Look forward to seeing you all again next week.
So I've been Sean Madden, and it's been a real pleasure in hosting this fantastic event, round 6 of the FRL Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Sunday here at Valencia. It's a thank you and goodbye for now, guys.